I think we've launched. We're live. Welcome to another edition of RockSim Live. My name is Tim Van Milligan. I've got this nifty swipe here. Let me see if I can turn it on so you can see my name. There it is. That's from Derek Villar. He's our artist here at Apogee. Derek also makes these posters that we give away. This one today, we're going to give this one away. This is the Andromeda poster. The kit is made by Klima. This is not an Apogee kit. And so you're saying, why are we promoting with a poster a non-Apogee kit? Well, we make images like this for our newsletter cover that goes out every other week. So we have a next one coming out. And this is going to be on the cover. So we originally made the image for the cover, and then we said, well, let's make it into a poster and give it away for the people that actually show up here for the RockSim Live presentations. So Derek did not sign this. If you happen to win the poster and you want Derek to sign it before it goes out, make sure you type that in later. I did sign it, so just to make sure that it doesn't increase in value. I put my name on it down there. This is serial number 1 of 1. We don't plan on making any others. This is just a special thing just for you that are watching here on RockSim Live. So we're going to do that a little bit later. And I am looking for the comments, and the comments are not showing up on my screen here. So what am I doing wrong? Why am I not seeing the comments? Because there's 7 comments already. Interesting. The comments are not showing up. So if somebody is in the office and you're watching this and you think you might know why I'm not seeing my comments on the Facebook feed, please help me out. It's not showing up. So we're going to start today. My microphone is hooked on the back of my chair. It's under my wheel. Come on. I'm struggling with the microphone. You can tell this is a live presentation. Is my microphone still working? Yeah, it looks like it's still working. We have another gift. That poster that Derek made, we also made a sticker that commemorates this specific episode. Let me show it to you. Right here. So that's what it looks like. It's about 3 inches by 3.4 inches tall. It's a hexagon shape. We are giving these away free, but we're not paying the postage on these. So to cover the cost of the postage, you have to buy $10 worth of other Apogee stuff, and then we'll just throw it in the box for free. But to get it, you have to use the coupon code. The coupon code is this ugly looking number right here. And you can see this, we've got a 15 on it. And that is for the 15th episode. So I envision this as you stick this on your range box, and then somebody says, hey, why does it have a 15 on it? And then you can say, well, I was there at the beginning when Apogee first started doing these RockSim Live. And I was there at the 15th episode, which is the very first episode that we did the sticker. So it's kind of a bragging right. So, if this works out and a lot of people want him, we'll do a sticker every episode, and then we'll just increase the number on the bottom of the sticker so that you can, have those bragging rights. So that's the sticker. If you want to buy the sticker, we do also sell it. And let me change to my desktop camera. So here's my desktop, and if you go to the Apogee website and you go to shopping, and I think it's under Rocket Novelty and Gifts, click on that, and it should be under stickers. It's not showing up here. I'm not sure how to get to it if it doesn't show up here. Let's click on something. Let's click on a patch batch sticker. Novelty and Gifts. Okay. I think I can get to it this way. Just have to go through all the items to find it. There it is. So what I did was I went to shopping, novelty and gifts, and then if you click on any item, and then click on the breadcrumbs back to novelty and gifts, and then just scroll through all the items, but it's on page 3. So if I go to page 3 and I click on the bottom, there's the RockSim Live sticker. So right now we're charging $5 if you want to buy it, but as I said, you can get that free. I'll give you that overlay screen one more time so you can write that down. And we're only offering it free for 6 months. So if you're watching this on YouTube in our archives, that's the number, and the offer will end on October 23 of 21. So get them while they're free for 6 months. Anytime you use that coupon code in the next 6 months, it will work, and we'll throw that sticker in for free. After 6 months, then you would have to buy it, and eventually we'll just discontinue it anyway, so you might want to get it quick. I am not getting the comments, so I need to Slack somebody in my office to get help. Maybe I need somebody that's smarter than me with Facebook, because I am not seeing the comments. It says I'm live, but the comments are not showing up. It shows that there's 11 people viewing and there's 11 comments. So I don't know what to talk about yet. So my comments are not showing up. I'm talking to Michelle. My comments are not showing up on my Facebook, so I don't know what's...
Your comment, like their comments?
Their comments, yes. You can spin that around if you want to see it. Michelle is taking a look at it. Let's see. They usually show up down here, and I click on this, and there's nothing to click on.
I'm not sure. I was having problems with that when I did the live, so let me see if they show up on the other end.
Okay.
And I can slack them to you at the very least, and I'll look into it. So we will troubleshoot.
Okay, so while we're waiting for that, today's topic, I do have some other topics to talk about. This was from a couple weeks ago. Joe Noble asked how you go about scaling a rocket in RockSim. So we'll start with that topic. And so we'll go to RockSim. Now, if you don't have RockSim, since I don't know if you've ever used RockSim before, to get to RockSim, you just go to the Apogee homepage, apogeerockets.com, and then you'll see this banner bar here in the top, and then just click on it until you find the one that says RockSim, and then just click on that, and this will bring up the RockSim page where you can download the free trial version. If you click on that link right there, then you can sign up for the free trial, test it out, see if it's working for you. So that's how you get to RockSim. So once we're in RockSim, this is kind of the screen you'll see. Down here on the bottom, we have the image of the rocket, and right now I have opened up the Zephyr rocket, and let me show it to you in 3D here. Okay, Michelle has slacked me now that she has talked to As far as the topic, could you show how to add a camera and hood on RockSim so it can account for weight and drag? And that's a question from Brandon Neff. Okay, so I could probably do that while we're looking here at the Zephyr. So here's the Zephyr rocket. That's what it looks like in real life. This is what it looks like. It's a big rocket. You know, it's 4 inches in diameter and it's pretty long. You can see a poster up here of the Zephyr. So to add a camera hood, so for a camera hood, what we need to add, to like Brendan said, we need drag and weight. Okay, so how do you add drag? How do you add weight for a camera hood? So as an external component, which is on the side of the rocket, what are our options in RockSim? So if we go here to the design components and we click on the body tube, what components added to the outside of the rocket would add drag? So another body tube, yeah, that would add drag. Transition would add drag, but I probably wouldn't use a transition. A fin would add drag. You could add a pod, but a pod doesn't add drag. It adds something to the pod, which would be something else. A lot of these are other internal components: engine block, bulkhead, coupler, centering ring, subassembly, streamer, parachute. Launch lugs could add drag. That would be a possibility, or a mass object. So there's not a camera hood, so we can't choose a camera hood, but we have to mimic a camera hood. So what I would say is probably mimic it with a fin. So then in the fins, you have a custom fin, or you have regular trapezoid or elliptical fin, which is the difference. Okay, so I'm looking over, I got my screen over here, which is why I'm looking over here, so because another Slack popped up. It says Stephen Alter asks, is there a way to find out from a simulation how far downrange a rocket will fly given the atmospheric conditions at the time of launch? Yeah, and that's an easy one to answer. We'll just run a simulation after I add the camera hood. So I'm going to add the camera hood as a fin, and I'm going to choose custom fin. And when you add a custom fin, it always looks in the database. So I'm going to cancel out of that. And it just pre-draws a fin on the rocket. But we only need one fin. So I'm going to come up here and make it a one fin. So that's what our camera hood looks like from the side currently. And we will change that to a different material. The material is not so important right now because we have to adjust for the weight of it anyway. So I'm just going to choose balsa for right now because balsa is pretty light. But we can adjust the thickness. You know, how thick is your camera hood? So we do sell camera hoods at the Apogee website. So let me open this up and type in camera hood in the search bar. And we got a clear one, or we got a opaque one. I'll open up the clear one because it shows a camera inside of it. So this is kind of what we're going to try to mimic the shape. So it's kind of rounded at the front and flat on the back, and it kind of conforms to the tube. And so now, what is the width of this? So because we're going to mimic this clear part as a fin. So what's the width of that? So I'm going here to the Apogee website, and I can just look right here, and it says the width is 1.53 inches, and I'll probably also need the height. The length is 4.1 inches. Let's see. Here's a good view right here. This view right here shows the height. It's approximately, well, you can get a camera that's a ½ inch of a tall, so I'm just going to estimate it 3/4 inches tall as the fin. So, so what did I say? 1.5 something inches. I'll just estimate it. You can tweak it later. So that's the thickness made out of balsa. Let's go to the plan points and start adjusting the plan. I think it said it was 4 inches long, so I'm going down here moving that to 4 inches. So if you want to make this screen bigger, you have some options. On Windows, you don't get these nice little dots that you get on Mac, but when you drag your cursor across the screen, you'll see that the cursor changes shape, and now we got a vertical line with arrows coming off the side. That tells us that we're in an adjustable location, and I can adjust it back or forth, make it larger or smaller. And I can do the same down here, just dragging it up and down. It's usually right below the calculated fin mass. So if I go right below that, you can click and drag. But I've already dragged it as big as I can make it. So that's as big as I can make it. But I wanted to see up here. So now I'm just changing the shape of this. And then if I want to zoom in on here, then I just click on the zoom button, the little magnifying glass with the plus. So it's about 4 inches long, and what do we say? We're going to make it about 3/4 of an inch high. If I don't round this off, so here it is on the side. I could have used just a regular trapezoid fin, so I'm going to go ahead and round that off. We have this button right here, and this is our chamfer button, where we can round off a corner. And I'm going to say, let's make it 5 points. So I'm going to put 5 points along here to make this nice and round, and click OK. And that really didn't do a lot, so I'm going to undo that, do it again. So I got to make my radius bigger here. So let's make it like 0.6 so you can actually see it. See, that's better. So here on the bottom of this screen, if I right click and I zoom in, so right click brings up this menu, and then you can zoom in. You can see now I got a nice little radius over that front edge, kind of matching, you know, what it looked like. So now we have a fin. Let's go back to the general tab. Our current calculated mass of this fin is 8.7 grams, which shows up right here. And then you can compare that to the camera mass, or camera hood mass, here on the website. If I go up here, and my weight is 4.6 grams, and here I got 8.7 grams, so I am too heavy in my RockSim camera hood. So I can adjust that by going to the mass override, and I can say I'm going to use a mass override, so I'm going to click on the mass override button, and I'm going to call it, what did I say, 4.6 grams, 4.6 grams, and then I need to have a CG location for that, and the CG is always measured from the front of the part, and so this is kind of a rectangle, and it's 4 inches long. I'm assuming that the CG is going to be somewhere around 2 inches. So that's where I'm going to put my CG, 2 inches, maybe a little bit further back because we rounded off and angled this. So maybe the CG is a little bit further back. But you would actually have to measure it in real life to find out where that CG is. And I'm going to click OK. So now we've accounted. Okay, so here it is on our rocket. You can see the thickness of it because we changed the thickness of the fin. But our position is bad because now we're looking down at the fin right there, and that's no good. So we need to go back here. And right now it's called a fin set. So let's change the name. Let's call it a camera hood. If you wanted to account for the weight of the camera inside, you could either do it as a mass object, but it's going to put the mass object right in the middle of the rocket, right here, kind of like where this M is. Or you could put the mass object, or you can account for the weight of it as the camera hood itself. So say you went to the Apogee website. I don't know what the camera weighs. This camera has been discontinued because our manufacturer has run out of them. That's the U838. We're looking at finding a different camera. I've found a different camera which has similar capabilities, but it's actually heavier than this one. This one weighs 18, almost 19 grams. The new one that I found weighs about 27 grams. So it's almost, 10 grams heavier, which I don't like, but I may have to live with it because it is what it is. It has other features that are actually kind of cool, but we haven't ordered it yet, so I'm not going to announce that yet. But here's what the camera looks like that we currently have discontinued. I just wanted to get a weight. So what did I say? 19 grams. So if I go back to RockSim and I go back to the mass override, and I would just add 19 grams to this. So 19 plus 4 is 23 grams. And that would account for the weight of the camera hood plus the camera itself inside. Okay, so now we've, oh, I don't like that color either, so I wanted to go over here to change my color. Let's make it white, and I can change the opacity of it, kind of like that clear camera hood that we sell. If you go here to 3D, you can also see that here in 3D. Let me zoom in. See, now you can kind of see it's kind of clear, and that is the opacity. That's right here. So if I increase the opacity to 100%, now you can't see through it. And if I made it 0%, it almost disappears. So there it is. The only thing, it doesn't conform to the tube, and that's because it's a graphics thing. Maybe one day we'll figure out how to fix that. We're getting more questions that are coming in through Slack. Lots of hellos, Michelle says. Joe Noble says, thank you for the poster that he received last week. So if you're actually wondering, do we actually send them out? Well, there's your proof. Joe says, yes, he even got his. Michael Wilson, this is your first time. I don't remember calling your name before. So welcome, Michael Wilson. Brandon Neff says, my son and I both passed our level 1 search using the Zephyr last weekend. Thanks for making a great kit. Thank you, Brandon. I think Brandon sent us a testimonial or a product. No, it was a testimonial. Product reviews are about the product. Testimonials are about the company. He says that there was 5 people that actually used one of the Zephyr kits last week at his launch and got their level 1s. It's a great kit for level 1s. It's our go-to model. Ralph Strasser, Tim, I am using the staging kit for the Aerobee High. I like the design of it. I might suggest a wooden sled be added and more of the 2 red couples be removed. Okay. Yeah, the Aerobee High is not our kit, but we do have a conversion kit, which is our kit. So I have to think about that. Chris Schaefer says, when designing fins, can you do different shapes for the thickness, such as a fin sanded to be rounded edge or an aerodynamic shape? I can answer that one, Chris, at the same time that I'm showing this one right here. And the issue is no, we can't round off the edges or the leading edge, the sides of the fin. But we can account for that as part of the cross section. It doesn't show it, but you can choose rounded or airfoil right here. It just doesn't show it in the actual image of the rocket. Again, it's a visual problem, not a design problem. And what it does is it affects the coefficient of drag, which gets back to our original question from Brandon Neff, is how to account for the drag. So you account for the drag by changing the cross-sectional shape. It's going to add a little bit of drag. How much drag? That is the million-dollar question. Let me click OK here. So if I go up here to the rocket and I go to CD analysis, it'll show you the coefficient of drag for all the items. So I have to change the velocity here to, so right now I'm at 187 feet per second, which is 127 miles per hour, which is, typical for a model rocket. And it says that our fins are going to contribute 39% of the drag. And right now I have 4 fins on this rocket. So you can see, so remember 39%. So if I go to this camera hood and I add another camera hood on the opposite side. Okay, so now we have 2 of them. So I click OK, and I go back up here to CD analysis. Remember, before we were at 39%. I forget what this was, 127 miles per hour. Okay, so now our fins contribute 51%. So you can see that by adding the camera hood, another camera hood, we've increased the drag on the rocket by pretty much a significant amount. But is that actually accurate? And that's the part that I don't know, because I don't know how much drag an actual camera hood does contribute. I know it does contribute some, and RockSim thinks it contributes some. The only way to actually find out is to actually measure it. And what you're going to do is you're going to measure you want to measure the velocity of the rocket. That's the best thing you can do. Is to, so you're launching the rocket without the camera hood, and then you put the camera hood on and launch it again, and now get a new velocity, and that difference in velocity will be reflected by the coefficient of drag. And so you actually have to adjust the coefficient of drag of the rocket. So right now it assumes our coefficient of drag is 0.58. And if I want to, say I go out and actually measure it and I compute my coefficient of drag is 0.68, now I can actually change it. So now I can go here to CD override on the main screen, this button right up here, click on that, and then right now it's calculating the CD and it's using 0.58. If I uncheck it, now it's going to use this value right here. And so my CD for the sustainer stage alone, which is what this is, I can adjust it and I can say 0.68. And so now when I run the simulation, it will be 0.68, and it should be more accurate to account for the extra drag of that camera hood. But it is a very long and involved process, because now the next question that you have is, how do I actually go about and calculate the coefficient of drag of my rocket? If you are really interested in that, how to calculate coefficient of drag, come to the Apogee website, click on How To and Guides, then click on Peak of Flight Newsletter, and then go to All Newsletters, click over here, and this is going to give you the topics of all 500, currently we're at 545 newsletters. And now you want to find out what is the coefficient of drag, and so you come up here, and you don't want to do it there, I'm sorry, not in the search bar there, because this searches the entire website, and that's going to give you way too much information. We only want to search for on this specific page, and to do that, on your keyboard, use Command F on a Mac, and on Windows it's Control F, and you do that and it will pop up a little find box up here that will only search on this page. So now I'm going to search for drag, and it tells me I've got 15 matches. So now I need to just go through, click on them, and find the article about how to determine the drag coefficient of your rocket, and it's issue number 303. which was written on January 3rd of 2012. The physics hasn't changed, so the article is an evergreen article. This will always be the way to figure out how to calculate the drag coefficient of your rocket. This is basically, you're going to need an altimeter to figure out how fast your rocket goes, and the altimeter that figure out how fast your rocket goes are not the ones that figure out how high they goes, because those only use a barometric sensor. You want to use an altimeter that also has an accelerometer on it. And if you go to the Apogee website, so if I go back here, let me go to the top, go to shop, and we want to go to payloads, electronics and payloads right here, click on that, and I want to go to altimeters. We'll go to this altimeter one, and then we want to find an altimeter that says how high and fast your rocket goes. My favorite one for doing this is actually the Jolly Logic Altimeter 3, but we haven't received any Altimeter 3s from Jolly Logic in probably close to a year right now. This is my favorite altimeter, and if John Beans is watching, John, please give me Altimeter 3s. I lost my last one, and I really want it back. So that's the Altimeter 3. Let me go to the next page. So I'm looking for altimeters that have accelerometers on board them. And I know the Telemetrum does, the Telemega does, the Easy Mega does. I'm not sure about the RRC3. But basically what you would do is you would look for the altimeter functions, and it says right here, accelerometer on board, no. So that one we can't use. So right now, you would only be able to use the Altus Metrum products, the Telemetrum, the Telemega, or the Easy Mega, because those have accelerometers on board. And once you do that, then you go back to this article, and it explains. It's a long and complicated process, which is why I'm not going through it right now. Okay, so that's how you add your camera hood on board. Let me go back here and take off the one camera hood. Oops, wrong button. Camera hood, open that up and change it back to one camera hood. Click OK. So now we have a camera hood on board. And let's run a simulation. So I'm going to go here to prepare for launch, choose an engine, and let me choose Cicerone G115 white, and it has a 13-second delay, which means on Cicerone motors you have to adjust the delay. So they always give you a long one, and you can only make it shorter. You can't make them longer, but you can make them shorter. So you'll start with a 13, you'll run the simulation, and then we'll find out exactly what delay to use. So let me see how this is set up. Maximum ejection delay. We are launching off a rail that's 98 inches long, so it's an 8-foot long launch rail. It's going straight up, and let's make it 700 feet. Oh boy, we got a really strong wind here. I don't want it that strong. Okay, so my launch conditions, 700-foot altitude. We have a custom speed range of 8 miles an hour, so this is giving us a constant wind, and it's going to go from the right side of the left side of our screen towards the right side. And let's click on flight profile. And what it does is it runs the simulation and then brings up a little animation of our flight. And I want to see this screen. So right now our rocket is right down here at the bottom, and when we push the launch button, the rocket takes off, and it's going up in the air. It's going to arc over, and eventually at 13 seconds after motor burnout, it's going to pop the chute. So that's like way too long. So You know, it's at an altitude of about 300 feet, and then it's drifting down, back down to the ground. And so this gets into the other question that we got. And who was it that asked that question? Somebody asked, I forgot who it was. Stephen Alter. Is there a way to find out from the simulation how far downrange the rocket will fly? And that's this screen right here, Stephen. You'll find it right here because we can see here, over here in the bottom corner is the range. So it drifted only 34 feet. I'm sorry, this rocket, because it deployed so low, it didn't drift very far. So let me click cancel right here, and I go back to this screen. And then we want to see here the recommended delay for this particular motor was 5 seconds. It usually, what it does, the optimal delay is 5.99, which is 6 seconds. So why didn't this choose 6 seconds? Well, the reason is that we always round down. We don't round the number, but we just round it down. It's always down, never up. And the reason for that is that when we actually fly a rocket, I'd rather have the rocket deployed too early than deploy too late. Because if you deploy too late, it's always going to be going faster, which is going to put more stress on your parachute. So I'd always rather deploy a little bit early than too late. So the recommended delay will always be rounded down to the nearest second from the optimal delay. But you can always override that if you're thinking, this is 6 seconds, I can live with that. So if I run that simulation again, and I change my ejection delay to custom, and I change it to 6 seconds, right here, and I use 6 seconds, and I do another flight profile, now it should be popping the parachute out right at apogee, which is what the optimal delay is. So we run the simulation, and it's going upwards. And it's right at pop, right at the top. Look at that. But now it's no longer going to land 34 feet away from the launch pad because we popped it out so much higher. Now it's drifting downrange 391 feet. So that's down here in the corner. So that should answer Stephen's question. And I think you might be able to, here on the recommended, on this, if you're on the Flight Simulations tab, if you right-click on any of the columns, you can get this pop-up that says Organize Columns. And this will tell you all the things that RockSim can display. And what I'm looking for is seeing if there is one that says range. No. You can't get it from there. That would be something good to add, and that should be fairly easy to add. The other thing you can do is double click on this simulation that we just ran. Double click on it, and it brings up the simulation details. And then if we scroll down right here to landing data, it says successful landing, time to landing 47.5 seconds, range at landing 391 feet, 391.99, so we can always round that up to 392 feet. So that's the other place where you can actually get that data. So that answers Steve's question. Now the questions are coming in.
It's like cutting in and out, and it might have ended now. So, check your settings and see. It's almost like your Wi-Fi is not connecting right.
I'm connected Ethernet.
Oh, Ethernet? Oh, I really don't know. Okay.
If I'm cutting in and out, I'm sorry.
It's like saying the video is paused. Like it's almost like you're hitting the pause button and restarting. So, and then Derek just said the Facebook Live had ended. but mine wasn't saying that, so.
I'm going to keep going because this is recorded.
Yeah.
Michelle just popped in the door. I don't know if you could hear her. She's saying there's some bandwidth problems. Yeah, there's 30 comments, but I can't see them. Michelle is slacking them to me, and they're not as nice when she slacks them because it adds a lot of extra junk. Can wings, Stephen Alter also asked, can wings with additional fins be added to a body tube in RockSim?
It's showing again, so you're live. There's only one more comment.
Okay. He says, I have an orbital transport from Semrock, and I'd like to model the flights because it has a glider too. Stephen, if you go to the Apogee website, there's an orbital transport on our website. You can just download it, and it's already done for you. That's an easy question. Okay. Chris Schaefer is also, Chris is asking a lot of questions. Is there an easy way to tell from the engine code if a motor is 24 or 29 millimeters? I noticed that there is a lot of crossover between the two sizes. And the answer is, from the motor code, no. No, it's the way the motor code works is it's all about the thrust. So if you go to the Apogee website, if you go here to shop and you go to rocket motors right here at the top, you can find them here. But say you don't know, say you go to Aerotech Motors and you see the motors here. So you got your choice here to show all the motors. But on this specific page, there's another chart that is all the Aerotech motors. And you can see there's a lot of them, all the way up to an L1000W. And on this chart, this is a sortable chart. So there's a diameter filter right here. So if you click on the diameter filter, it will sort the chart by diameter. If I click on it again, see now I got 54s on top. Click on it again, now it's the smallest. So now the smallest we have is a E6 RC motor, and it's also Blue Thunder, which is that engine code. But from looking at this itself, no, you can't sort it. Even in RockSim, well, in RockSim, I can go to prepare for launch, choose engine, and there is, if I show all engines, I can sort by diameter here. Again, this is a sortable list, so now it's only showing me all, in order of diameter. So it's showing all the 24 millimeter motors. If it's showing too many, I can go up here and say, just show me the Aerotech motors. Get rid of the Cicerone and the Estes and all the other ones. So now it's sorting just the Aerotech motors by diameter, but you still need to know the engine code. So that's that. I wanted to do today, how to scale a rocket, because on the Zephyr, one of my projects that I'm working on, I think if you're not seeing it right, the Zephyr is right for you this way. I would like to scale this rocket down to a BT70 size, which is a 2.2 inch diameter. You're saying, what's this tag hanging here? That tag is for customers that walk into the Apogee store. We have 200 rockets sitting there, and they're always asking, what's the price of this rocket? Because we got them all built. And so on the little tag, it shows what the price is. And then when we have a price increase, we change out the tags. So that's why the tag is sitting there. But we have a nose cone right here that we also have here in BT70 size. It's exactly the same shape. So, Joe Noble's question from a couple weeks ago is, how do you scale a rocket in RockSim? And you can scale a rocket either going up or down. So that's kind of what I wanted to do here. Click OK here. So we've got the Zephyr rocket, and say I wanted to scale this down to a BT-70. How do I do that? Well, first I need to know the scale factor, and this is the hardest part of scaling a rocket, is figuring out the scale factor. So is the diameter, is this one 2 times the diameter as this one? It's close. This one is 2.2 inches and this is 4 inches, so it's almost multiplied by 2. So if I multiply 2.2 times 2, then it would get 4.4. But this one's not 4.4, it's just 4. So it's not so easy. So what we got to do is we got to figure out what that scale factor is. So that's the first step. So for that, we go to the Apogee website again, because I want to get dimensions of the tube sizes. And it's going to be based on the tube size. It's easier to use tube size than the nose cone length, because I already know both of these nose cones are 5-to-1 ogives, which means it's an ogive. An ogive is a special shape. Let me see if I can find PNC. 56. PIC, not PIC, PNC. No products found. There it is. PNC 56A, which is this nose cone. You can also cut the tip off and make it into a transition, which is why you see it here on the screen, why it's showing a transition as well as a nose cone. But I think down here, not this one. PNC 4-inch. So this is the 4-inch. No, this is a lock. That's not ours. PNC 98. That one's ours. Okay. I thought. Okay, so under frequently asked questions right here, we have a diagram of what defines an ogive. An ogive is a section of a complete circle. So here's the complete circle, and then we have a section of it, and then we cut a chord. So we cut the bottom and we cut a point on top, and then we rotate that around the center line, which is defined by the top point. And that gives you an ogive shape. And the length to diameter ratio of 5-to-1 is what this shape is. So the length of it is 5 times the diameter of it. And I specifically designed the nose cone here to be exactly the same, so that someday I could scale these rockets up or down. So I could scale the Stonebreaker rocket, which I'm holding here, up to a 4-inch diameter, or I could take the Zephyr and scale it down. And I'm thinking about doing both, but my first project is scaling the Zephyr down to a BT-70 size. So I need the diameter. So I'm going back to the body tubes, going to shop, building supplies, body tubes. I want to get the exact dimensions of the tubes. So now I know for a fact that this 4-inch diameter kit right here, the Zephyr, is exactly 4.00 inches in diameter. But a BT-70, that's an oddball size. So I need to find out exactly what a BT-70 is. And I know from experience that it's 56 millimeter. So that's where I'm going to go here to 56 millimeter. And you'll see right here, 56 millimeter is called BT-70. So I'm going to click on that, and that will bring up the page, and here's my outer diameter. So my outer diameter, the exact outer diameter, is 2.217 inches. So now to get my scale factor, I'm going to take 4 inches and divide it by 2.217. So I got a calculator here in my hand. And the result is 1.804. So write that down in the back of your mind, 1.084. Let me just leave the calculator on because I'm going to forget it here in a second. So I'm going to go here to the Zephyr rocket, and it does have the camera hood still on it. And I'm going to go up here to rocket, and I'm going to go here to scale. I'm going to go scale by factor. And I'm going to scale this. If I was going up from BT70 to BT or the 4-inch, it would be a scale factor of 1.8. But we're going the opposite direction, so I actually got to take the inverse of 1.084. So basically, it's 1 divided by 1.804, and the result is 0.554. So that's the number that I want to put in here, 0.554. The exact number is 2499. That's 25. It's only giving me 4 digits. So I'll click OK. So when I do that, it scaled the rocket down. And you can see something didn't scale properly. And I know exactly what it is. We found another little bug. This one is for Matt. I wish Matt was watching because now I've seen a little bug. So when you scale a rocket down, what it didn't scale down was the fin tabs, the through-the-wall fin tabs that are inside the rocket. But everything else on the rocket, it was scaled down to a BT70 size. And if I go here to the side view, and if I look at the diameter, 1.770, that's not right. So my scale factor must have been off, because that should be 2.1 or 2.217. Should be this number right here. So maybe I did it wrong. 2.2174 divided by 0.55425. That's what I put in. Okay. But so you get the process. I wonder where I went wrong. If I typed in a wrong number or something. So let's see. I can't undo it. Once you do it, you can't undo it. So let me, before I do anything else, let me save it as a new name. Save as Zephyr Mini. I'm just going to throw it on my desktop. Say save. Because I can't undo. So let me go back here to open recent. Let me open that Zephyr back up. I've already saved it. Stu McNabb says you have 0.44, not 0.554. Okay, we'll try that again. Scale by factor. 0.55425. 42. Click OK. There we go. Now we're close. Now we're within the rounding error. So now it scaled the rocket. But now you do have to fix some things. So now, in general, we've scaled it down. It was that easy. But here's the problem with scaling down is some things don't scale properly, particularly the body tubes. So if we go to this body tube right here, this first one, which is this one right here, and we look at the outside diameter, which is okay, 2.2168. So that rounds up to 2.217. It's the inside diameter that I worry about, this number right here, 2.1614. So if I go back here to the Apogee website, and if I look at the inside diameter, my inside diameter should be 2.180. So if I go back to RockSim, see, and I'm comparing this inside diameter right up here, it should be 2.217. 2.180. So we're inside diameter, our inside diameter is a little, it shrunk it down too much. So I have to go back here and tweak it to 2.18. What did I say? 2.180? I can't remember. Yeah, 2.180. And click tab, and that will adjust that. And then I have to adjust the other tube. Same thing for, it would be the same thing for everything on the inside, like tube couplers. I'd have to adjust this tube coupler. I'd have to adjust this aft body tube, 2.180. And then I'd also have to change my fins because we've discovered we've got a fin problem here. So my fin set right here. What the bug, which we just discovered, is that it didn't scale the location of the through-the-wall fin mount to the proper size. So it scaled the outside of the fin, but it didn't scale the part that was on the inside of the tube. So I'm going to redo this, calculate the fin depth. So it recalculated the depth right there. And then the tab offset, I've got to move it over here. Actually, I want it, I want it right here. So if I open this up, zoom in, and find my fin, zoom in a little bit. This is where that zoom in really helps, because I want to put the front edge of my tab right at the back edge of this front centering ring. And then do the same thing for the back edge of the tab. I want it so I want it to nest inside of the centering rings. So now I'm going to change the offset. I'll start with that. So yeah, as I'm moving it, it's moving. So let's try 8. We're getting close. So that's close enough right there. And then we need to move this edge, which would be the tab length. I'd go right back to here. Yeah, right, come on, and let go too early. Okay, so now my tab, my through-the-wall tab is correct. And it would be the exact same process of scaling up. So if I wanted to take the Orion, so now I'm going to save as. Now I'm going to save this as the Zephyr Mini. Yeah, let me open up an Orion, or not the Stonebreaker, sorry. This is the Dynastar Stonebreaker. I'm looking for Stonebreaker. I'm not seeing it. So I need to go into a different folder. It's in the RockSim one that you have. It's under designs. This is the normal design folder. I have my special one where I throw all my new stuff in. It's under Dynastar, and then here it is, Dynastar Stonebreaker. Save your changes? No. So this one is 2.217 inches, and if I wanted to make it a 4-inch kit, then I go, what was my thing? 1.80. So scale by factor 1.8042. Click OK. So the rocket looks identical, but now as you can see, it's 3.9999 inches in diameter. So now it's a big rocket. And again, I would have to go back to the body tube and adjust the inside diameter of this tube. So now this is a 4-inch tube. So again, I'd go back to the Apogee website, find the exact inside diameter so that I get everything scaled properly. Now there's another way, there's another scaling you can do. And if I go here, you can scale the fins separately. So if I go to the aft fin and say I wanted to scale the fin, where do I scale my fin? I can't remember how to do it. I know I can do it. It's just I can't remember how. It's been such a long time. Cancel out of that. Let me check here something. Preferences. No. Maybe it's only for custom fins. Let me think about that. I know there's a way to do it. I just haven't done it in a long time. Let me check the messages. We've got a poster to give away, and we're already 11 o'clock. So if you joined late, we're giving away this poster, and I can't judge the contest this time. So I'm going to have Michelle judge the contest. So as the comments come in, I want the fourth person. This time, what I want you to do, it's going to be the fourth person, but I want you to do a shout out to your local rocket club. So type in, the name of your club, the section number if you know it, or if you're not a member of a local club, type in your NAR number or your Tripoli number, or if you're in another country and if you got a club there, put a shout out to a club. So this is going to be for people who are in clubs, because I want to promote clubs, because if you're not in a club, you're missing so much. So you're going to get this poster, and it's the fourth person in order that Michelle receives it, and you will win this poster, and we will ship this out for free. And for everybody that didn't win, well, even if you did win, you can also get the free sticker. And the free sticker, you have to go to our website, and you just, as you're placing your order, the minimum order is $10, so that it pays for the shipping cost. And you're going to be ordering something anyway from Apogee. And we'll give you this for free if your order is $10 or more. But you got to put in the coupon code. So as you're going through the checkout, you'll see a coupon code. And the coupon code for this one is RQ, the and sign, 19J5M. And I think it might be case sensitive, so just in case, make sure they're all lowercase. I think all our letters are lowercase. So use that, and we'll give you this free vinyl sticker. And it's got a number 15 on it because this is our 15th episode of the RockSim Live Training. I know we've got more comments and more questions, but for some reason I'm not seeing the Facebook feed, so I can't tell. So the winner is Chris Schaefer. Chris has been asking a lot of questions, so it's appropriate that Chris Schaefer wins the poster, but everybody can win a decal because we're giving these away free, and this coupon code lasts until October 23 of 21, October 23, 2021. So if you're watching on our YouTube channel, get the sticker. They're cool. We can print as many as people want, but you only get one free one per customer. After that, then you have to buy them. So I wish I could see the comments. That's the best part for me doing this RockSim Live, is being able to interact with you. The comments are there. I can't see them, and it's really frustrating. But we have gone an hour, so I guess we'll call this the end. And any of the comments or questions that I didn't answer, we'll try to do them the next time, and hopefully the feed will work properly. If it doesn't, I'll probably go to YouTube Live and get rid of Facebook because hey, you got to work with me, man. You got to work with me. So I'm going to end the episode. And so we're going to see you next Friday. We're doing them every week, and it's Fridays at 10 a.m. on Mountain Time Zone. The slacks are still coming in, and now it's distracting. The comments are still coming in, and it's distracting. So we're going to what I was getting at, we do these Fridays at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which is 12 noon on the East Coast. You don't have to be a member of Facebook to watch. You only have to be a member of Facebook to make your comments and questions. If you're not a member, you can send in your questions through our contact form on our website, and we'll get to them in the next episode. So I'm going to end it. So until the next time, I'll give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Until the next time, 3, 2, 1, go out and launch something.